Molecular biology, the smallest scale you can study in biology before you fall off into pure chemistry. It zooms into DNA, RNA, and proteins, the instruction manual of life and the workers inside every cell. mRNA vaccines, CRISPR gene editing, the test that tells a cancer patient which drug will actually work on their specific tumor. All of that runs on molecular biology. The structure of DNA was discovered in the 1950s. After that, the field took off and kept growing. There are PCR, genome sequencing, and now synthetic biology, where scientists basically write new genetic code on a computer and build it into a living cell, just like you install a program into a robot. If you want to understand life at its source code, this is your field. Genetics, the older brother of molecular biology. In the mid-19th century, a scientist, Gregor Mendel, ran experiments on the color of pea plants across generations. He discovered that traits are passed down as a discrete unit, aka genes. 100 years after his experiment, DNA was identified as the actual hereditary material, and the field of genetics stepped into a new stage by merging with molecular biology. The difference between the two fields? Let's say DNA is a cooking book, and a gene is a recipe in the book. Molecular biology focuses on how the cooking book is made and used, while genetics looks at each recipe and what it will create. How mutations happen and why one sibling has your dad's hairline while the other got lucky, these are all what the field of genetics studies. In recent years, studies in this field have been creating miracle after miracle. Gene therapies for inherited blindness are showing real results in early trials. Genetic testing now flags cancer risk before any symptoms appear. And you know those crops that can survive in drought? Yeah, it's all thanks to this field. This field, along with molecular biology, is truly running the front line of innovations in the world of modern biology. Cell biology. The human body is roughly 30 trillion cells, which is more than 3.5 million times the human population on Earth. Cell biology asks how each one of those trillion cells actually works. Mitochondria producing power, ribosomes building proteins, the Golgi apparatus packaging stuff for shipping like a tiny Amazon warehouse, vesicles ferrying cargo on roads made of microtubules. Most diseases, such as cancer, neurodegeneration, and autoimmune problems, start as a cell doing something it shouldn't. So naturally, we need to first understand cells to understand diseases. Recent research is just fascinating. These are called organoids, designed and grown by scientists in a lab, including fully functional blood vessel networks. With these special tissues, we can test new medical treatments without introducing them to an actual human. For anyone into biology who wants something more visual than chemistry, this is usually the entry point. Anatomy and physiology. They are the study of the body. Anatomy studies the structure, organs, tissues, etc., and how they are all arranged in the body. Physiology studies functions, what each organ does, and how muscles grow. Heart is anatomy, and heart beating fast while exercising is physiology. In anatomy, you will use imaging like MRI and CT scans and cadavers. If you are too scared of cadavers, it's okay. They also got 3D tissue models in recent years. In physiology, you will keep coming back to the same concept called homeostasis, which is just a fancy word for staying balanced against constant change. You start sweating when your body temperature is high. You start shivering when your body is cold. You urinate more after drinking a little too much water. Homeostasis is the mastermind behind all of these mechanisms. If you ever wondered anything about your body, chances are a scientist in this field has probably done research on it, such as why caffeine wakes you up, or why the same drug affects two people differently. If you are or will be in the medical field, whether you like them or not, physiology and anatomy are your Bible. Microbiology. You're essentially one big ecosystem. Roughly 39 trillion bacterial cells live on and in your body right now. That is actually about the same number as your own cell. Microbiology covers every living organism too small for us to perceive: bacteria, archaea, fungi, protists, and also viruses. Before the 17th century, nobody knew what microbes were. They were like a shadow society, influencing the lives of us humans without being detected. After the invention of the microscope, and once people figured out those little guys, modern medicine basically restarted from scratch. Antibiotics like penicillin, vaccines, fermented products like yogurt that is probably sitting in your fridge for a while. You can probably find microbiology in your daily life more than you realize. Recent studies have been showing some shift in focus, from just harnessing the natural function of those little guys to modifying them for even better use. Scientists are engineering microbes to produce medicines, eat plastic, and survive in space. This field is clearly understudied, and if you like aliens but are not interested in going to space, this field is the best fit for you, because there are tons of microbes with some exotic characteristics we haven't discovered. Evolutionary biology. Evolutionary biology is basically a history class for nature. It studies how populations change over time, how new species appear, and how traits like color, behavior, and disease resistance shift across generations. You probably know its foundational idea already. It's the Darwin's natural selection. Organisms will survive when they adapt better to the environment. The recent COVID-19 pandemic was the prime example of this mechanism. Through roughly 2 years of the pandemic, we saw different variants with different traits. This was because the virus was testing out which version of them can survive the longest. The current version maximizes its survival with the increased transferability and with significantly lower severity. This field doesn't end there. For all dog people out there, it also studies how we ended up with so many different-looking dog breeds. If you ever wondered why life looks the way it looks now, evolutionary biology has your answers. Zoology. Zoology is the study of animals, all of them, from sponges to elephants to whatever strange thing living at the bottom of the ocean. It covers anatomy, behavior, reproduction, classification, and how animals adapt to their environments. Early zoology was just observation and description of animals. But once evolution and physiology entered the picture, it experienced a whole new glow-up. It became a comparative science, where studying one species teaches you something about another. For example, researchers use their study on bats and their echolocation to learn more about whales' echolocation process. Some research could be beneficial for us humans, too. Animals like axolotls regrow their lost limbs, and researchers started to explore the possibility of using the same mechanism on humans. If you grew up being the kid who knew every animal fact, this might be the time to fire up that passion again, and this time be the one to uncover a new fact about animals. Marine biology. Technically, it is a part of both zoology and ecology, but considering roughly 70% of the planet is ocean and mostly unexplored, I think it deserves its own section. Marine biology studies life in saltwater, fish, corals, plankton, and deep-sea creatures we have yet to discover. Today, marine biology forms a very strong connection with climate science. This is because oceans absorb most of the planet's extra heat and carbon. For example, researchers discovered the crucial role of mangroves as a part of nature's carbon storing system called the blue carbon ecosystem, and how a warming ocean is causing coral reefs to migrate in Hawaii. Now, marine biology does sound romantic, saving the planet while exploring the beauty of the ocean, but it's also one of the more demanding fields. If you ever decided to go deep in the field, it would require not only extra knowledge of chemistry and physics, but also a real tolerance for fieldwork in places that are cold, wet, or far from shore. Botany. Easily the most underrated field of biology. You might forget about plants because they don't move much, but remember, every breath you take involves them. Botany studies plant structure, growth, reproduction, and how plants respond to external factors like stress, drought, and a changing climate. It is actually one of the oldest scientific traditions, starting with the study of medicinal plants. Now it's central to agriculture and biotechnology. For thousands of years, farmers used a process called selective breeding to produce plants with desired traits. However, modern botany uses genome editing. This achieves much more sophisticated results, like drought-resistant crops, with much faster speed and precision. Plants being at the very bottom of the food chain, the research findings in this field will have a ripple effect on all other organisms on the Earth. If you are interested in food security and climate, or have an ambition to influence nature's entire food chain, this is your field in biology. Ecology. Ecology zooms out, way out, and looks at how living things interact with each other and with their environment. While zoology focuses on organisms themselves, ecology focuses on their interaction with the environment. Forests, coral reefs, prairies, urban parks, gut microbiomes, the whole biosphere. They all run on rules of energy flow, nutrient cycles, predator-prey balance, and competition. If you are curious, you can make your own tabletop biosphere in a jar and observe it. I promise you won't be disappointed. This field is not just biology, but is related to policy building as well, influencing decisions like sustainable farming and even how a city should be designed to handle green space. If you have a passion to improve the world for nature, this is where you shine. And that's biology as it stands. Not one subject, but a connected network of topics that keep running into each other. I hope you found your favorite part of biology. Please leave a like and subscribe. Check out this video to learn more about other biology-related fields.